Welcome to Soul Conversations with Sandra the Podcast. I'd like to start out by saying I attune myself to the creative impulses that indwell in me and seek to express through, in, and as me as I introduce my guest today, Geoffrey HD. All right, we are going to be talking about manifestation. We are also going to continue our talk about, and there he is, I'm going to wave at him. We are also going to continue our talk about masculine, feminine. We're going to continue our discussion on abuse, male and female, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. That abuse is not a individual choice. All right, it is. It happens to everyone. It's not only in one area. It's not only directed towards women. It is not only directed towards men. It is the human experience that happens, and we need to find out and discuss how we can possibly bring an end to it or make others aware that they are being heard. So join me in inviting Geoffrey in. I call him Geo, but he's a young God in, through, and as him, and he's about to share some information. And if you don't think that manifestation has anything to do with the heavy discussions that are being talked about all around the world, whether it's spiritually, outwardly, or inwardly, manifestation matters. It's how you create. So let's have this discussion today. Welcome, Peter. Welcome, Shay. And let's... I had to give a little background because Geo and I have been having this discussion for quite a while. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Ooh, that's a bright, bright,
and the
bright
light shines.
You know.
You know. When you know, you know.
Yes.
Right?
Let me see if I can
before we get started, I want to read something that helped me understand manifestation. Okay. And it's also known as the law of attraction, the law of manifestation. And this, when I first learned about the law of manifestation, it was from the DVD, The Secret, right? Mm-hmm. And you kind of learn those little nuances, yes. Right? But it wasn't the big gulp that I needed. I didn't know I needed the big gulp. And then I started exploring. And when I got to this book, I'm going to read to you from Michael Beckwith's book.
Okay.
Right? Yep. It's called Prosperity, Plenitude, and Infinite Possibilities. Mm. And I'm just going to read you what he writes as the purpose of the book. And usually I'll read the book. I won't read the prefaces or the bios or anything. I go straight to the nitty-gritty. Okay. But I've learned the source has slowed me down, so I read this. Because sometimes you just have to know where an author is coming from. Mm-hmm. And he says, this book is based on the live transcript of my Prosperity, Plenitude, and Infinite Possibilities class. It's a class that he taught, but it's not a bias. It's a try it on, see if it fits for you. If it doesn't fit, take what does and leave the rest. So he says it is designed as a prayer, a reference, a practice, an activation manual, because he believes you are here to activate your innate spiritual capabilities and abilities to manifest. It's already within you. And that's what made me kind of tune in and tap into myself. And I wanted to share that with you guys as we go into this conversation, because some of it isn't going to be easy to listen to. Some of it might trigger you. And remember, if you get triggered, it just means that you have to go within. It doesn't mean that Geo's going to hurt you or we're going to hurt you. It just means that we love you that much that we're going to have a conversation. So how are you doing, Geo?
I'm doing amazing, experiencing life to the fullest, expanding. And I'm super grateful for what the universe has for me and what's gonna unravel for me even more and more and more. It's a beautiful experience when you look at it from a point of view of consciousness and spirit, just an energy as well, just working through you and with you and for you as well. So I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. How about yourself? You're looking super gorgeous, my beautiful goddess. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much. And you know me, I like playing with my little filters and everything. But today I'm not. Today I decided to use the filter because it dims the lights. We've got a lot of sunlight coming in here. And what I love about my new place is no matter which way I turn, the sun is everywhere. So it was like just really making my phone like light up like a light bulb, So,
that is totally fine.
I am doing really awesome. I'm glad we're going to talk today about manifestation, because there is never too much that you can learn about manifestation. When you think you know it all about manifestation, Source just opens up a whole new area where you go, oh, I didn't know that. So we are about to, and what I like is my thing is when I came to you and I told you what I wanted to discuss as well, you put it in such perspective that we get to start with what I want to address and blend it into manifestations.
Yes.
And what I believe that Source has called me to do a lot of things and has opened up a lot of my gifts all at once. Sometimes a little kind of, I won't say frustrating, but a little, what my ego is trying to show me is chaotic, but not chaotic. It's just saying, I've got a lot for you to do. You came into this world being a mighty manifester. You came to this world being multi-dimensional, and you came into this being multi-faceted. So bring it to the table. And before I didn't realize that. And what I'd like to start off this conversation with is what we talked about before, is the feminine, masculine, the fact that we've got things separated in our duality world, the fact that we've got a lot of the world looking at only women who are being abused, the fact that behind the scenes, whether it's marriage or boyfriend, girlfriend, or even no matter what relationship dimension it's in, men are behind the scenes being abused, being misused, having no safe place to say, hey, I've been abused, I've been misused, I feel left behind, I feel left out. And this is and like this is because I have a couple of people in my family that I love really a lot. Yes, they are men, and they come from that story, and they don't know the story that men have been taught not to feel, not to tap into their own emotions, not to go any deeper than to just be strong and buck up, little camper. So
yes, definitely. I gotta admit, it's an experience. Everything is an experience at the end of the day, and I love how you brought this up and how it's gonna connect with the whole manifesting and everything like that, because everything has been a manifestation from whether if it's our subconscious or our conscious mind as well. and through the programming that we've been receiving one way or the other, they set ourselves in a position for us to experience these kind of experiences. So it's about us, one way or the other, to kind of like be able to see it for what, like, if anything, release the veil that's being portrayed upon us and the filters, and see through them, right? So that at that point we're able to like express ourselves and know like we are capable, and we have both divine feminine and divine masculine within us. So we're able to experience those experiences no matter who you are, no matter what kind of sex you come or gender, if anything, you're standing in. You go through the same experiences. Like we are, even though we've been shown like we're so different, we're most likely alike. We're quite alike. We're similar. We go through the same experiences, but we just experience them differently, from different point of view and different perspectives. So, yeah, when it comes to the male presence, how the world has been setting up the man to be, is like he needs to be a provider. He just work. He doesn't need to feel. He has to kind of have to go out there and get what he needs to get, and then bring it back home and then take care of the family, and that's it. And within that whole experience, you'll feel like, yeah, that's how a man is supposed to be. But where's the part where like, oh, he has feelings too? He's not just a machine that has to just do and not feel anything, right? So when we look at it from that kind of point of view, we're able to see like, oh, we've been placed in a position that is pressured upon us not to show our feelings. Because if we show our feelings, that just shows that we're weak. If we show a sign of victim, it's us being weak. And it's not even about being a victim, but it's more about being vulnerable and being able to speak about certain experiences that you have been experiencing. And but you think like, oh, because it's coming from, as a man, I gotta be the strongest one. So if a female hurts me, or whether if it's emotional, physical, financial, whatever the case may be, spiritual, I'm looking like a little bitch, just to not say the word kind of thing. So it's not like that though, because we have females that do have like the masculine energy, right? That have been brought up in that experience where like they develop more of the masculine, divine masculine, right, and the divine feminine. So how they're approaching a certain situation, and vice versa, even with males as well. It could be like a male that be more inclined on his divine feminine rather than his divine masculine energy. So when it comes to that kind of dynamic, it could like trigger the other person as well, especially when like they're not balanced out, because we're supposed to experience both realms, whether if it's the divine feminine and divine masculine, but being able to balance them out, right? Because the divine masculine energy is all about like creativity, being analytical, structure, right, being firm and everything like that. But for a female, the divine feminine is more about flow, creativity, feeling, just like embodying that kind of energy and nurturing. So we all have those aspects about within us, For my single fathers out there, they do play that part. They gotta play that part for their kids and everything like that as well. So they need to be able to show that love, that nurturing side, and to take care of the kid, and vice versa for my single mothers out there. They gotta do the same thing. They gotta be able to play that role for as a father as well. Be able to kind of teach the kid how to be more structured and build a structure for them to be protected, right? So it's all that experience. And when we get to understand like we were made to experience both realms, like we are multidimensional beings having this human experience, right? So we're supposed to experience all these levels and dimensions of realities, I guess you can say. So when we're able to do that and comprehend that, and it's like when we go to these kind of experiences, whether if it's abuse, mental or physical or whatever the case may be, we're able to still speak about it, because it's like, oh, I'm meant to be experiencing this. In a way, you have to learn from it. But how can I learn from something if I'm just keep on dimming it down and putting it like, pass by it as if it was nothing. And that, in a way, it eats me from within rather than, me feeling it, experiencing it, and then passing it around and releasing it, if anything, right? So I don't know, is the connection there? Because you're a little bit, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
There's a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You were pixelating, and I bet I was too.
Yeah,
right?
now you're pixelating as well. So I was like,
It's interesting when the interesting energy gets going, how it starts to, yeah. But I love that. It's the fact that you say single fathers, right? We and here, any females that are moving or flowing with the energy through this, do not take it the wrong way. I am not dissing the fact that women have played the single mother role, playing both, not play, and I use playing a lot simply because our souls came here to this earth school to play. We're the only ones, the human beings of the human experience, took ourselves way too seriously, right? So when we play both the masculine and feminine as we're raising our children in our single mother role, no matter how we got there, I think folks get it wrong when we say, oh, it's a single mother and her husband died. Then that's okay to be a single mother, right? You gotta get off the label and understand that you've been working and balancing, you know, maybe not realizing it or being aware of it, but you've been balancing between masculine and feminine. Now, a lot of men embark into single fatherhood because either one or two things happen: their spouses die, or they get divorced and they have custody for 2 days a week, you know, or 2 days out of the month, or every weekend, or whatever. And it does matter. I think we're undercutting men that have to go into single fatherhood, regardless of what the situation is, and they have to, on the weekend, balance or come to learn how to balance between masculine and feminine. And it's not about them doing drag. It's not about them, you know, putting on lipstick and doing drag. It's about them understanding that it's okay to take on that love, that creative, I call it love, unconditional love, creativeness, because it's getting creative and it's tapping into how you can tap into your children without being analytical, without being. And there are a lot of men that are doing this and not getting any, you know, they're not being brought to the you know, Father's Day should be more than just a day for a gift. Do you see what?
yes.
Just Mother's Day should. It's Mother's Day and Father's Day. First off, you got to separate it anyway. You've got the label.
Yeah.
How about just Parent Day?
Wow.
And that means no matter what your parent looks like, not just now we've gone even further, and that's a whole different discussion. When you go and your parent is your grandma or your grandparents or your great aunt or a best friend who got listed in the papers when their friend died, and all of a sudden they became parents. So, and that could be a man who has now said, I've got it. And we've all seen movies about it. They put movies and they made it comedy, but it's real. And you know, I just kind of go, how do we make it fair?
I love that you mentioned the fact that grandparents, because I had a whole, like, for 7 years I basically lived with my grandparents in the US. So my mother and my dad were in Italy at that point in time, so I was being like, my parents were my grandparents at that point, you know. So for me, it's like, is that also that experience of understanding, like, yo, we all need to be celebrated, like, you know, just the guardians that are taking care of somebody, no matter what it is, whether if you're foster parents or whatever the case may be, like, or aunts or and everything like that. It's all about being celebrated, but it shouldn't just be a one day kind of thing. To me, it should be like a whole, an everyday thing, an experience, because every day we grow through this experience, you know, and we have these kind of challenging experiences, whether if it's like, oh, you know, I know like a lot of single mothers out there, they say like it's a little bit challenging for them to like be able to handle a baby or two babies or three babies kind of thing, and at the same time looking to like have their business flowing and everything like that. So it could be challenging as well. So that's when it should be celebrated every day, you know, and vice versa for it when it comes to a man, because or a father or anything, because those days they would need to be reminded like, oh, I am worthy. I am important as well. It's just, I know that I'm serving, I'm taking care of my kids and everything like that, but I am important too. Like I gotta be able to give myself that time and space to work on my mental health and see if I'm okay, if I'm good. Because imagine me just going focusing on the kids, but then only when I go to sleep, I got that space.
The fact that I'm going to tell you, you're in my head. You're literally in my head, in my mind consciousness, because that was going to be my next question. Not just single fathers, not just I'm not just men who are being abused. We've got men who have mental I call it distress. Okay, I don't want to call it disease, it's because when you attach it as a disease, then you've got to go, oh, there's no coming back from this. But when you add the mental distress that a man is in, and then on top of that, the reasons why he is doing whatever he is doing, based on maybe some type of, and we bring it back around, some type of abuse, right? And you could say maybe it was when he was a child. It could have been when he was a teenager. It could have been that he watched a parent or both parents or both of his parents and his grandparents act a certain way, and nobody gave him, just as we look at females with mental abuse too, any instruction that isn't the right
a way of being loved one way or the
right.
other.
So,
and I fully resonate with that, because looking back, I feel like everything is an experience for you to learn about yourself. That's why when we look at it from that point of view, then we don't look at it from a victim mindset, like, oh, why is this happening to me? But it's like, okay, cool, what is this experience teaching me, kind of thing, right? So what I realized in me being able to be in a toxic relationship one way or the other, it was also because of what I was used to seeing in my childhood, right? And seeing my parents acting a certain way or anything like that, or being and thinking that is love, right? And that's why I was able to still keep on going back to that, even though I would see the red flags. Consciously, I would see them, but subconsciously, I would be like, oh, it's still okay. It's still okay, because your mama been through that, your dad been through that, like they experienced that, and you know, whatever the case may be, it happened, right? So to me, it was, and that's how they also loved you one way or the other. Like, even though it wasn't that healthy love, that's what it was. But to be told, looking back at it, they didn't know any better themselves. Like, you know, parents become parents for the first time. You know, it's not like there's a book out here to like, oh, how to be a parent. You know, you gotta just freestyle and you know, learn as you go, kind of thing. And if you're a quick learner, you're able to you know, tweak things right away. If not, then, and if you're just stuck in your own ways, then you might just be like that until
when I was kids, there was no book, and I can guarantee you there was no book with my mom or her mom. It definitely was. Now there's books galore, but it doesn't mean that the composer, not the composer, but the writer of the book is correct for you. The book is giving you a perspective from his or her certain aspect of what they believe is true.
Exactly. Right? And everybody has their own truth. Like from every perspective, it's their own reality. Like, if this is my reality, I can only speak from my point of view, and that is my reality, so that is my truth. And the other person will do the same thing. That is their reality, and that's their truth as well. So it's not about like, oh, who's lying, who's not, who's telling the truth or who's not. It's more like, that is my truth because that's how I perceive it from this point of view, from this stance. This is me, right? And the other person will still say the same thing. So what I even learned as well from my mentor is like, he been through an experience as well where like, just to run it down real quick and summarize it, where like he wanted to like get his mama away from his dad because of their relationship that they were having, and she wasn't happy, but she felt like she couldn't leave because of whatever situation it was. And he was programmed to kind of like dislike his dad, his father, right? And at one point in time, it ended up switching the roles where like his mom kind of got him upset, and then he had to like hang out with his dad even more. But then he got to realize like what he saw his dad as wasn't so like that. It was because of what his mom was telling him and everything like that he saw it as that. But once he found out his story, that's when it changed a little bit. And from the anger that he had towards his dad, it wasn't so like that because he understood where he was coming from as well and what made him act in a certain way, and vice versa for his mom as well. So it's that kind of understanding that we all have our own unique experience in that relationship, and depending on what is the programming, the influences, the culture, the ideology, the beliefs, and everything like that, it will affect a way on how you live that relationship. You know, we can all be in that same kind of space, let's say like in the same room, but we will experience the room differently from depending on our, you know, the programs that we have going on and everything like that. Or even like a movie, like we can watch the same movie and it's us viewing the same movie, but we will all experience it differently. Even though the movie is defined like, oh, it's a comedy, but you didn't find it that funny. I found it super funny. So why is it that? It's because of what our programming is, what we are channeled to be, and all that good stuff. So once we comprehend that and we understand, like when we come into a relationship, we are relating two different worlds, bringing them together. So it's about knowing like, I'm not just, even though we all are a reflection of each other, there's different parts of us, and we are able to complete each one another's point of view when we open up our worlds, right? And that's why I feel like in every relationship, communication is key, because when you're able to have that healthy communication and be able to be vulnerable and transparent with one another in every kind of level, you're able to comprehend like, okay, cool, how can I serve you? How can I be of service to you today? And vice versa. If like, you know, when it comes to like having those roles as, okay, male and female in a relationship, I'm supposed to be doing this as a male, you're supposed to be doing that as a female. But when we stick to those kind of roles, that's us putting ourselves in a box, right? Because it's like we're not able to like be ourselves. And then even when maybe today I'm only feeling like 50% of myself, and I can't give 100%, but just because I've been placed in this box, I'm overdoing it myself now, just because I want to fulfill my duties that are. But like I said, we're not machines out here. We're spiritual beings having this human experience, and you know, we do get tired sometimes. We do get drained sometimes. We do feel, you know, overwhelmed sometimes. But if we don't open up and speak about it, we overstress ourselves, and that's how the whole mental distress happens. Because then you feel like, oh, as a man, I gotta keep on doing, even though I might feel like I can't give my 100%, I must still give it, to the point like it will be forced, and you forcing the whole experience, it might put you in that mental state that you're not looking after your mental health, because of you trying to fit and play the duties that you're supposed to be doing, right? But when you're able to like sit back and open up to your other half and everything like that, and she's able to be understanding and understand the whole experience, like, okay, cool, you're not able to give 100% today, and I appreciate that, and you're only on 50%. Let me bring in that 50% as well. Let me meet you halfway, and because at the end of the day, it's a relationship, and it's a teamwork. It's a team effort, because it's not about who does this and who does that. Like, it's you guys making this relationship, this collaboration work for one another, being there for each other. So when you're able to have that kind of understanding and not expect, because expectations are quite are quite a point. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say I've got you on mute because I've got a really loud trash truck out here. I mean, really loud. Literally, they've just been there.
Okay.
Can you hear
That.
Sure.
I can hear that.
Okay, and when I had you on mute, your volumes would go in and out. But I let you talk and put you on mute. So it's not that I don't have anything to say. It's just that this truck is taking forever.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I said a few things that you're like, oh, I want to say something, but obviously,
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Fun.
That is totally fine. No, I don't know where I left off. But yeah, so it's basically about knowing how to collaborate, because that's what we're doing. We're collaborating. We're not competing with one another, like who does this better, because I'm a man, so I'm supposed to do it this way. You're a female, so you're supposed to do it that way. No, we're supposed to like collab. You know, if my female's not feeling it today, she's not feeling great, even though her duty as the world is projecting, like, oh, she's supposed to cook, clean it, and do whatever, and take care of the kids and stuff like that. If she's not feeling 100% able to do so, I gotta play that part. I gotta be like, you know what, it's okay, let me tag you in. Like, tag me in. I'll do the dishes, I'll do the cooking, I'll take care of the kids, whatever the case may be. You just sit back and relax. But imagine if the female is not able to communicate that, because they feel like, oh, I have to do this. No matter if I came back home from work and I'm feeling all distressed and stuff like that, I have to play my role no matter what, or else, because my man expects me to be like this in a way or the other. That's how the relationship ends up being crumbling. It's not healthy anymore, because you're not there to listen to one another, to see each other from that point of view.
It's exactly the flip. Well, it's exactly the flip. So I will put it this way. We as women, okay, not the collective we, just the we's that I've seen. That the group that I've been in, okay, there's a stance is, I had a friend long time ago. This has been, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago. So imagine 30 years ago, you guys do the math, okay, back then the thought pattern was, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home wife. That friend found a husband who, worked, who made good money, worked really well, and was stayed at home. And she decided she wanted, the life that was painted in that picture of what was downloaded. A nice house, your husband makes good money, you stay at home, you don't have to work, everything, not that everything is handed to you, but you have 2.3 kids or boy, girl, and life is grand, and daddy comes home, he does the disciplining, and mommy's the person that gives the cookie stew and kisses the boo-boos. But as to change on not a daily, but as years started to go by, and the picture of how life is shifting, it shifted for her. So her kids got it, of course your kids go from being the cute little kids into the what they might give a label as the terrible twos or terrible 12s or whatnot. And then it became, well, you spend too much time at work. Why don't you discipline the kids more? Why don't you help me out more? And then it extended from her back to him. Well, why don't you go to work? Why don't you put the kids in daycare? Don't you know that there are a lot of women who are working and having the kids in daycare? And it was very for me, when I would listen to her, I would feel for both of them. And she says, well, you can't feel for him because he just doesn't understand me. He doesn't get me. I should have married a man who was into their feelings. You see what?
That's deep. And I've seen that before.
Right? But now add on, and I wanted to do that. Now add on to that, if both of them have mental distress. That builds into or feeds abuse of either one side or the other.
Yes, 100%. And that's when it's mainly what it's all about, like that you said it right there. When if I'm distressed, like hurt people will hurt people, stress people will stress people, right? The same way the opposite way, heal people will heal people, you know, inspired people will inspire people,
Yeah.
or enlightened people will enlighten people, all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to that point of view of, you know, when you're being distressed in that in your own world, you're distressed right now, you're not going to be able to show that pure love that you always wanted to show to that point, because it's all being filtered with that stress, right? And
Right.
vice versa from the other part. So if we're both in that kind of mental space that we're both distressed, we're going to be butting heads 24/7, 365 for even that little one thing that can happen. An argument will start because of us being on edge, right? So that's when communication has to be the key. Be able to express, and us kind of like drifting away from these roles that it has to be that way. It has to be this way. Like, oh, I have to play my part. You know, the same way how you just mentioned, like, oh, as a man, you have to go to work, but you working. You think you're playing your role, but then now your kids are missing out on you. That
Yeah.
kind of part, you know, and vice versa. So that it's an expectation, but you're thinking, as a man, this is what I'm supposed to do. So why are you getting mad at me for not being there for the kids when you know I'm supposed to be, you know, paying the rent, you know, handling the food and everything like that. But it's because of what we're trying to fit this role, right? But if we are multidimensional beings, why are we just sticking to one part of us and that's it?
Right.
Because of our we're boxing ourselves in now, and that's
Yeah.
when
Is that
all these experiences are happening.
segue? That is a perfect segue to manifesting. We're multidimensional beings. We're or at least we're growing into multidimensional beings. We start at third density, which third density is dealing with our you know, our five senses. And we deal that way. That's why our ego spends a lot of time hijacking us, because we're only in what we believe our eyes can see, or what we believe our hands can feel. We're only in the form instead of the formless. And I think that this is a perfect segue. I want to say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I two things. Just as women have safe places where they can go and talk about their mental distress, men need that too. There are not many places that do it for men where it's open and unjudgmental. And that's why they don't get help, because the men that are helping them are judging them. Okay. And it comes from, and you got to understand, we're not talking about the young doctors, the young psychiatrists, the young psychologists, the young therapists, right? We're 10-year men who grew up with the dialogue of men don't cry, men don't show emotion. Why are you having a bad time? Why are you coming to me? Yeah, there's already, you know, that kind of thing. Why are you mentioning you're bigger than your wife? How can your wife abuse you? There's and that kind of thing. So it doesn't make men of any age feel comfortable and go and say, you know, when I go home, by the time I get home, my wife is so drunk that I can't even talk to her, or my wife has went off on a bender, or you know, they haven't even diagnosed that their wife is on the spectrum, so they can't even identify with that. They'll just say my wife is crazy or whatnot. And then, you know, so what do we do? We have men who hold it in. And what do you do when you hold it in? Well, your body reacts to that. How does your body react to it? It reacts to exactly how your egoic mind is going to tell you. Either it's going to be fight, it's going to fight somebody. And it's going to be their spouse. Or it's going to tell you run. And then you're just running, so you don't want to go home. You're going to run to another woman. Or or another man. It doesn't, I'm not being gender biased or anything like that. Or going to fight, flight, or resist. So you're just going to resist. You're going to resist so much that the situation keeps coming back, and there's nothing that you can do for it. And right now, I feel it may not be so. There is not enough safe spaces for men to come out and say, "Hey, look, I'm being either physically abused, mentally abused." A lot of men were sexually abused when they were children. They don't want that. They don't want to come out and say, this is why this is why my world is skewed and colored in black. This is why I can't see. This is why I only see gray, because I can't see black and white, because nobody told me that my mother molesting me wasn't right. That's not love, So and the same way with women. When I was a little girl and found out that my little brother couldn't hit little girls, I devised a plan. I can get what I want. And I'm a little girl, at that particular time. I don't know. I think when I found out I was 8. And it was like, I can get whatever I want. I can hit my brother in the shoulder and he can't hit me back, because little boys don't hit little girls. And if I hit him, he's not supposed to cry, because little boys don't cry. Do you know the thing? But my mother put a check on it. My mother caught me in the act and told me that wasn't right, and told me and explained a little bit. And then my older brother at another age explained to me and gave me examples. But there are a lot of women that grew up that way with none of those checkpoints ever, they never passed any of those checkpoints. That's not right. So they grew up with, I can do what I want to a man, and a man can't, they're not supposed to yell back or fight back. And then when one does,
that's when, you're not a real man.
Right. Not a real man, or he's abusive, because he's just telling you, don't do that to me.
Yeah, he's protecting himself, kind of thing. And then now it's like, for protecting himself, he's looking like the one that abused it. It gets to that point. And you said a lot of different points that I could resonate in. But one thing that definitely, like, this month, we're still in June. Even though it's the last day of June. It's funny like how it's ending like that. But today was about men's mental health. This month was all about men's mental health, but nothing was pushed like that for people to actually be like, so where is it? Do we have that space? So I love the fact that you mentioned that, like, we need more spaces for men to kind of be able to voice, whether if it's even just somebody being a soundboard for them to, like, literally just speak on a certain experience and comprehend what's going on in the whole thing.
Peter says, he's got a great question. What is the real definition of what a man or woman is? All right. Do you want? I can give it to you from me, and then you can give. The definition of a real man and a real woman is aware. It is. The definition of a real man and a real woman is source moving in, through, and as them on a daily. The difference is, not everybody's going to know that, Peter. Not everybody's going to know that they're the same. Not everybody's going to know that they need to be treated the same. Not everybody's going to know that the mental distress does not characterize itself by female or male. It just characterizes itself by saying, I'm hurting, please help me. All right. You said
it right there. That was powerful, and it definitely resonate. When it comes to a definition, we're just looking at it from an energetic point of view, and because everything is energy, energy is everything, right? So when you look at it from a point of view of energy, it's just the male presence, as I said before, is more like structure, protection, guidance, and planting these seeds. Like the conscious mind is a male energy,
Yeah.
right? And then the subconscious mind is a female energy, right? So because the conscious mind plants the seed in the subconscious mind, and then the subconscious mind nurtures the seed and grows it, right? And that's why, you know, our subconscious mind is stronger than our conscious mind, because it's developed this content that is been placed on from the subconscious mind. I mean, from the conscious mind. So when we look at it from that point of view, there are two different energies, like the yin and the yang,
Yeah.
right? And when we come into this three,
I said they're supposed to balance each other, right?
Exactly. They complete each other. Right? And I feel like when we look at God is an essence of the two energies coming together, you know. And then just having that's why our DNA, if you look at it, our DNA goes like this. It's two different energies going together, intertwining each other. It's a synergy. So when we look at it from that kind of point of view, and I love how you mentioned it before, like, you know, in this 3D realm, we're shaped in forms. It's like it's a forms, as I suppose, a form construct. Beyond that, it's formless. So we're able to be free and see if I'm hurt, I'm hurt. It doesn't matter if I'm a male or a female. This is what I'm feeling, and we're gonna be appreciated for that and heard for that, right? On that kind of level, on that conscious level. On an unconscious level, in this 3D realm, it's like, oh, you're hurt, but you are a man. Why are you hurt? Oh, you're crying. It's okay for you to cry if you're a female. It's not okay for you to cry if you're a male, because we're in this 3D construct. But it's like, these are the roles. We're trying to put ourselves in this roles and titles and fit in a box. And that's what's kind of stopping us from experiencing what we need to experience in a way or the other on a full extent, because sometimes we're just being stopped for it. So
yeah. We're told that men shouldn't be in touch with their emotional thoughts. That's a lot of BS. You're absolutely right.
100%.
And that's where we're I don't know, driving home. You know, the thing is, we're here talking about it on a spiritual platform, right? It's Soul Conversations with Sandra, right? It's the podcast, Soul Conversations with Sandra the Podcast. But what Source wants me to do is not just me; it's everybody who has a calling, or who said that they have a calling, or they've been called by Source. The thing is, we are here as spiritual beings coming from, whether you call it heaven or the absolute realm. We are here to bring the absolute realm into the duality realm. And if anybody's read a Bible, it's called, the prayer is, as it is in heaven, let it be on earth, right? Okay. So how do we take what we know as energy, which most people go, oh, that's spirituality, that's a bunch of wishy-washy bullshit stuff, right? And how do we take it and bring it into, because we're both form and formless. That's what we are. We are body and we are spirit. We're both form and formless, but how do we take that and bring it into the form? Because it's not just men that are spiritual that are being abused. It's men around the world. It's not just women who are spiritual that we need to contact and listen to and give safe space to. It's women around the globe, Gaia, that are a part of the whole, a part of the law of one, that need to understand that they need to understand the ebb and flow of their energy, their feminine and their masculine. They need to understand that it shouldn't be that only women get helped or get special treatment. It should be all that are hurting. And that's my that's why I talk about it a lot with people on the podcast who are driven or moved to open up the pathways and how sources called them to do it.
Exactly that. It's like I said, for me, it all comes down to communication. When you're having like these kind of conscious conversations, right? That's why within my own self, in my own channel, I do have like late night conscious conversations, and I'm just here speaking about these deep things in all kind of aspects of life, right? When we're able to have these kind of conscious conversations and bring the thing that spirit wants us to know, that's already been embedded in our soul, right, into the forefront of our ego to know as well, we're able to comprehend that at the end of the day, all these things is coming back to oneness, because we're all connected, we're all interconnected at the end of the day. Like as I said before, for us to be tap into that God mode, we gotta bring those two energies together, right? So when we're able to complete and see the bigger picture by expressing and allowing to view each other's point of view without judgment, without saying, but you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that. From that point of view, about on an unconditional love, like in transparency, that's when we're able to heal what this world has taught us, and we allowed our ego to believe, because what Peter was saying, exactly that is BS, not bullshit, is belief systems. And these belief systems are got us to move in a certain way, right? They got us to look at the world in a certain way, and then yeah.
Yeah, no, belief systems. It's not bullshit. It's belief systems that we have to, and it's not overcoming them. It's retraining them. It's not of them. Oh, you're absolutely so right. It's not thinking of them as your worst enemy. It's thinking of them as, this is how I've thought for so long, and this has been. And every time I come back to thinking it, it's revealing something to me. It's pointing me in the direction, and I just haven't noticed the direction.
Exactly.
Wow.
That. And that's mainly what I said before, and I'll bring it back to on a first circle experience. We're experiencing all these experiences to teach us, to learn from how can we grow from this experience? Because if you keep on doing the same thing without changing, I don't know, the equations within it, you're gonna get the same result. So when we're able to learn from the experience by not playing the victim, but seeing what is it teaching us, why is it here, what is it asking of me, right? Because we're all being vessels, we are all vessels for us to bring in the new awareness, the new consciousness, whether if it's from the love of God or the love of fear, whatever the case may be, or the God of fear kind of thing. Who are we rooting? Who are we serving, right? So when I see it from that point of view, of I'm serving the love, the God of love rather than the God of fear, I'm able to understand, comprehend every experience as what is it teaching me, rather than looking at it from the point of view of a God of fear, and I'm like, I'm the victim here. This is what's happening to me. I should just stay in my box and all that stuff, right? So I believe that at the end of the day,
Why should every religion believe thought is is a superior being above? Well, it's a thought. It's a process. Source, whether you call it source or divine creator or I don't know, God Almighty. Source doesn't care what definition you call him, her, or them by. It's a choice. If I more share no to ku share to ko ata imba to share nate. The thought process is all yours. It's all yours. Source isn't going to say nope. You can't do that. You can't. Nope, I'm not going to allow you to think that. Source is going to say, that's a choice.
And that's literally that. And that's what I was saying to you. What God are you listening to? The God of love or the God of fear? Because the God of love will be like, whatever you believe, you will achieve no matter what. The God of fear will be like, oh, no, I don't think you're capable of achieving this. Maybe you should stay where you are in your same place. Maybe you should stay in the comfort zone,
right,
and everything like that. Maybe you should look like the victim, because that's how you get more attention one way or the other. So it's all about these experiences. When we're able to comprehend them on a different level and seeing outside of ourselves, we're able to expand on it and see, okay, cool, where is this bringing me? Because to me personally, like I said, as a vessel, I placed myself in this position. Because
Yes.
as we all know, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So at the end of the day, our soul had contracts in this world for us to come into this world and play a part, for us to play our soul purpose one way or the other. So our soul is always working through us one way or the other, whether we know it or not sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more like how, because our soul is so eternal, it has the patience to still plant these seeds here and there every now and then, whether the ego is like, oh, no, 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 kind of thing. So when we are able to comprehend the soul experience from a point of view like, oh, I chose this life, I chose these experiences, I chose this person to bring me this awareness at this point in time in my life and everything like that. I'm not going to look at whatever the person is bringing me, whether it's a trigger experience or as, oh, they're hurting me, I gotta get away, run away, run away. I'll look at it from a point of view like, oh, why are you here right now? Why are you showing me this? What are you asking of me from this experience?
Right.
And that's what I'm able to see, like, that's why it was asking me to then come in at this point in time, speak about these things in a certain way, right?
Right.
For me to comprehend in a certain way, and where does it stem from? So and that's when it comes to manifestation, right? So it all stems from something that has been planted, whether if it's from our childhood, from the how the society has been constructed to think and be, and the programming, whether if it's through the religion, through society, as I said before, through the culture, and all these other things as well, right? So when we are able to see it, and from that point of view, you're able to reprogram your mind and say, okay, I've been manifesting all these experiences from the day not from the day I was born, but like from all this programming, and throughout 20 years I'm still experiencing this stuff. Let me change something, because it's something within me that's bringing me still to manifest these things, right? And you might feel like, oh, but I didn't ask to manifest these bad experiences. You didn't ask, but you allowed the program to program you, because if you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. So whatever you viewed and you allowed yourself to be programmed by, because you didn't protect your mind, and you planted all these seeds in your garden, right? Now you're here growing these seeds through the experiences that you're experiencing with others and everything like that in this 3D realm. So is you bringing that consciousness back to yourself to be like, oh, I am powerful, right? And I manifest everything in my life. Because if I don't see it as like, oh, this is happening, if I don't see it as this is happening for me, I mean, I'm looking at it from a point of view of a victim. That's me giving my power away, right? That's me saying like, oh, I don't have the power to change this life. I don't have the power to change this experience, and that's why I gotta be in this situation. No, if you feel uncomfortable, and if you feel like you're in a toxic connection, or even whether if it's the person, whether if it's your job, whether if it's anything, any kind of situation, you have the free will to leave. You have the free will to speak your mind. You have the free will to unlock these mental chains. These are all mental chains that we allowed ourselves to lock ourselves in because of the programming, and we give more power to the programming, to the people on top, or whatever it can be, these beliefs, this society, this, like, people think like, if I was alone, I would think by myself, right? But because by now I'm being influenced by a whole group of people, and they're all moving right, and if I'm not so sure of who I am, and I don't stand in my own ground, I will follow the group of people and thinking that this is the way of how life is supposed to be. And that is not necessarily true, but it's true to you because that's your belief now, right? And that's how you believe it. But somebody who's really embedded in their being, and they know who they are and everything like that, not who they are on a physical level or an egotistical level, but who they are on a spiritual level, that they are multidimensional being having a human experience, and they're expanding every single day and in time and every moment. That's when they can be like, oh, I'm in control, so I can decide if I want to experience that or experience the difference, and be more curious, like, oh, and question things instead of just me like, oh, I gotta follow the person before me. No, you don't have to follow anybody. You can still ask, why am I following this person? Let me look the other way. And that's when you will see in a family construct, there's always that black sheep in the family that's thinking differently from the whole family. Right. And we say black sheep, but I like to look at it from the lone wolf, because you're that lone wolf in this pack. Like, it's not your pack anymore. You gotta find your own pack, and that's when you end up finding your own pack by expressing your vibe, and you attract your tribe by the end of the day, whether it's your soul family and all that stuff. And that's why we have this kind of experience, because it's like we feel like we're so embedded in this family construct because, oh yeah, blood is thicker than water, and all these other experience and all these kind of sayings that you think it has to be this way. Oh, I will have to be in this family. I have to. No, you don't.
No,
You can
no.
find you can find your own family outside of this physical family. You find your
Right.
soul family, and your family is just a one second. Your family is just a reflection of your frequency, right? So if they think alike, that's your soul family. That's because you're on a vibrational level. That's how you guys vibe. So that's your tribe, right? So when you're able to look at it from that point of view, you don't hold yourself back from like, oh, but we don't look alike, or but we, you're not my same blood, you're not from the same culture. That's you limiting yourself from that experience, because
Yeah.
once again, bringing it back to we are multidimensional beings. We don't limit ourselves from just because of the skin, blood type, or culture, religion, or whatever it can be. No,
Right.
that's you limiting yourself, putting yourself in a box. But when you think outside the box and you break these boxes and break these chains, you're able to reign and create your own reality, because this is your kingdom. You are your own king or queen, and you decide on how your kingdom will be, one way or the other, right? You are a creator, so you create your own reality. And if you choose to subscribe to that kind of reality, that's on you. But you can also unsubscribe. Just like you're on YouTube, you can subscribe and you can unsubscribe if you wanted to. So it depends on you. The power is always within you, and you always have the power. But when you don't realize, because you're still focused on these 3D realities, and you will always give your power away. But when you look at it from a first eye, your third eye, and everything like that, from that conscious level, you're able to say, you know what, I am a rebel. I don't have to conform to no kind of reality, no kind of like law, in a way or the other. How I want to be, and then obviously I will have my own experiences, and whether if I'll have my own results, because obviously it's a cause and effect experience. It will show you what it is, one way or the other. So you
Yeah.
wanted to say something?
No, you're right, because all the while you were, um, uh, oh, it's making me. Ooh. Okay, so uh, when I was moving or shifting through, moving through my religious movement into spirituality, is the one thing that I really that really changed in my life is how not how I read the Bible, not how I put disillusion in the Bible, but I just started not taking it verbatim, you and I asked these embodying questions. And what I asked is, okay, when Jesus came, it wasn't for me. When Jesus came, he came in human form, just like anybody else did. He was born. He had a birth, and he had a death. Yes. And when he came, it wasn't about the fact that, for me, it wasn't about the fact that humanity was born of an original sin. He came because he wanted you to know that if he could do the things that he did miraculously, you could do them too. His blood was no different than your blood. And I mean, I was a kid asking these questions. I was a kid going, why, when I would ask my mom, why do we play follow the leader? And the reason why I asked my mother about follow the leader is because she would always say to us, well, if everybody was jumping off the cliff, would you jump too? Because that was a form of follow the leader. Yes. And of course I would go, no. I wouldn't ask, well, how high is the cliff? I wouldn't ask. I would just go, no. And so my question was, why are we believing, if we're manifestors, okay? And I wasn't questioning it as a kid as manifestors, but now I take it and I pull it forward into me having that embodying question, and can actually consciously ask this question, okay, about manifesting, and also about, taking it back to people, human beings being abused, not men, not women, human beings, right? Why is it that we can follow the leader with everybody saying, oh, it's this way because, right? And then we just go, oh, that sounds right. It sounds right. That's kind of like jumping off the cliff. Everybody else is doing it. It sounds right.
Must be
but
cool.
yeah, right. And my thing was, to me, it wasn't that Jesus had any special blood. He had a very, very special message that to me got overlooked. Even when the Jews didn't accept him, supposedly, this is supposedly based on the story, and I'm just going based on the story. The Jews didn't accept him, but the Gentiles did. But the Gentiles accepted him based off a story about being broken, being sinful, and then it being about the blood. And to me, as a kid, I was going, his whole dialogue of creation, of creating, not the creation, but the creating of who we are, the walking on water, the becoming water to walk on water, because that was what manifesting was. He tapped into water and he said, I want to be like the water. I'm going to walk on the water. And the water said, yes, come walk on me. Be with me. Be one. Be wholeness, right? So it just, and they rather believed that he could do it and he was something special, but they couldn't. And my thing is, how do we take that now from our spiritual realm of the absolute coming into the duality of individuals who are, we may call them unconscious. We do that. We label it. We say we're conscious and aware. We're awakened, but they're not. But they're to some type of life because they're making life choices. It may not be the greatest life choices. How do we show them? How do we show them how to do that? How do we show men who don't know that the story is predominant in what they're creating? How do we show them how to manifest so that they can help themselves? Yeah, not help.
Yeah.
Source wants another word. They can create themselves.
They can reframe. They can reframe the story. So
yeah,
for me, it's basically like this. It's understanding. First, you gotta allow yourself to see what got you here. You gotta see the root cause, right? When you comprehend and understand and understand the root cause of what got you to experience, to have these experiences and still be here, experience these experiences, you're able to change the story behind it, because it's about you going back to yourself, working on you, and being able to see like, okay, cool, what do I need to change? It's something within my mind, because it's easy for me to attract this experience again. It's easy for me to, like, for females, or all men are trash, because you keep on attracting all these men that are showing you that men are trash, or all women, I don't know, whatever the case may be, right? That
all women are hoes, or
that part, like these girls ain't loyal kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's about you understanding, where does it come from, and when did you start believing these beliefs? When did you start having these belief systems about this construct? Like, okay, how did it develop, and how did it become so strong within your belief that now you're here so passionately speaking about it? Yes, all these men are trash, all these girls ain't loyal, and stuff like that. So it's about you going back to that moment that initiated everything,
right,
and be able to reconstruct it. And that's when it's called, cognitive reframing, when you're able to change the story about what you've been through, because we're so passionate about speaking about the past, the story that we hold on to. Our ego loves to hold on to, because it's like, if the ego doesn't have a story, then there's no ego. There's no like, who am I? Oh, I am this person that's been through all these experiences. That's who I am. But that's not who you are. That's only a version of you, right? When you're looking at it from a shallow point of view. But if you go deeper, you're not this. You are an experience of everything. And yes, attach yourself to these experiences, but you're also the other experience that you haven't experienced yet. And it's all because of you being so focused on the left side that you forgot about the right side. You forgot that there's a right side, there's a yin to the yang. So you confirming or allowing yourself to be programming like, oh, there's only this part of me, and not thinking like, oh, there's the opposite of it as well, is not allowing you to experience that. So now when it comes to like, you know, cognitive reframing, you're able to like, okay, let me just change the story. You know what? These men are wonderful. Men are beautiful. Men are so like impactful. They're able to assist me and da 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 da. Girls are always loyal. They are royalty and all that stuff. Now, if I start believing that, if I start bringing it into my awareness from a thought to then bringing it to a feeling, like I believe it, I see it. From the point I believe it, one way or the other, I will place myself in that reality where I will be attracting all these loyal women. You will place yourself in that reality where you will be attracting all these conscious men that are able to take care of you and not abuse you in any kind of manner or whatever the case may be, right? So it's all about that understanding, and that's what I said before. Once you know thyself, you're able to recreate your own life as well. Like, it's all about you knowing where all these things stem from. Why do you think this way? Why do you move this way? Why do you react this way? You know, when you're able to be aware, when you're aware, you're super conscious, and you live in that moment that you're like, you know what, how do I want to show up? It's not about me remembering who I am, because if I remember who I am and I'm thinking it from a shallow point of view, I am all these experiences. That's not who you are, right? But if you start thinking from a point of view like, who am I? Who do I want to be? Who am I meant to be in this world, in this time right now? And who I'm willing to be, because this is all about willpower. How willing are you to change? Because if the change happens within, if you don't allow yourself to change within, everything, your reality will always be the same. And then no matter if you're saying like, oh, all these people are around me, so let me just travel and move out of the country, you'll still find the same people over there too. And then you think like, what's going on? Is God, why God are you placing all these things on me? You're always giving your power away, right? And you're not able to understand like, oh, once I change within my own self, then I'm able to recreate my life outside of myself as well. Because as within, so without, as above, so below. Everything is everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So when you move from that kind of point of view, you're able to see it through on a different level.
Right.
And so basically the whole key is being aware and know who you are and know how you attract things, because this is all manifesting. We are all great manifestors, and people might say like, oh, I've been attracting all these things that I didn't want. Well, because you've been focusing on all the things that you didn't want, that's what you've been attracting it. So you've been manifesting since day one, right? And vice versa. So it's about us knowing like, okay, cool, how do I stop manifesting all these realities? Change your mindset. If you've been thinking from the left side, start thinking from the right side and see how the life will change. You know?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, this is like gold, man. This is the alchemy. You change lead into gold, right? And the other thing that I love this. I love this. It's we have to understand that the more we don't want something, the more shows up.
We're calling
right?
it.
Yeah. And or the more we say, the more we say what we don't like, the more we manifest that.
Yes.
Right? And the thing is, opposites, when we think about energy, we think about, like energy attracts like energy. But opposite energy attracts too. You could be the nicest person. You could have a lot of gratitude going on. You could be having a lot of generosity, could be having a lot of that going on. We have to realize as human beings, or as spiritual beings, having a human incarnation and being multifaceted. We have a lot going on in our lives. So we could be very attracting the greatest things in our professional life. We could have the business, and we could have it's growing, and you got money going on. You're attracting all the right customers or clientele. You're working with great people. But then when you go into your personal life, what are you attracting? What are you saying, no, I don't want to? What are you saying, no, I don't like to? Or what are you saying, what are you looking at in other people's lives? See, that's another big one. We're looking at everybody else's lives and we're judging them about what they do or don't do, what they should do or what they shouldn't do. But see, the universe isn't looking at them through your lens. They're looking at you, the universe, that I call them they're looking at you through your lens about you and about what you say, what you're saying. It's called being, let's go ahead and just say it, being a mighty manifester.
Yes.
The universe is not caring whether you say, I like it or I don't like it. It's just saying, oh, she, Sandra, keeps saying this about something negatively. Your wish is my command, Sandra. Here you go again, Sandra. No matter what you call your name, Sandra, I got your number. Mm-hmm. That's the universe.
That's literally
right.
That.
Go back to one when we had that first meltdown, when we had that first relationship that went to shit. All right. And why it went to shit. We can blame it on the other person, or we can go inward and look in and go, oh, that was a little bit me too. Let me take care of me. That won't keep coming. I can't take care of the other person. Let me take care of me and retrain my thought, or take care of that, let me alchemize or transmute that energy. And even people who are in the quote unquote world will not know about transmuting, but when they go to a psychologist or a therapist would say, you need to change how you think about yourself. They don't know that it's energy, but baby, we know. Everybody in this room knows it, right?
That's definitely that. I believe, like you said it right there, we are mighty manifestors, and truth be told, we are magnets. That's what we are. We are magnets, and when we think or whatever we feel, we're magnetizing the experience. So we're amplifying whatever we're thinking or feeling or actioning it, and us magnetizing that is the universe calling it back to us. Because at the end of the day, we are the universe experiencing it itself. So you just basically saying or thinking, this is who I am. And that's why we don't attract what we want. We attract who we are. So what are we expressing? What are we being right now? Are we being positive for me to attract more positivity in my life? Am I being more conscious so I'm attracting more conscious people in my life? And all that good stuff, right? So when you're able to change that experience and look within yourself and love yourself and work on you, that's when you're able to attract better, because you're being a better you now. So you're attracting a better reflection of you. That's mainly what it's all about, because at the end of the day, we all attracting people that meet us where we match. They're just matching us. That's all it is. It's just a match. That's why you go on Tinder, like, you swipe right or whatever, and you match that person. We're just matching from that kind of point of view. And when we are able to understand, like, cool, I don't like this match anymore. I grow this connection. Let me work on myself now. But that's the thing as well, because then we go through these breakups, and then we go into the new relationship, and we speak about the breakups that we've been through. So what are you doing now in that relationship? You're basically bringing that same energy again. You're telling the universe, even though I called in a beautiful experience now, I'm still bringing back my story, because I'm still connected to that story. So I'm gonna re-bring that story in this experience now, once again. So now it could have been a beautiful, blissful experience with a new different person, but because you still brought the same thoughts, the same feelings, and the same experiences, and you've been more passionate about what you don't want to have rather than what you want to have, now you're still re-attracted in that same experience. And you're thinking, like, but why are you doing me like this? When I told you the whole story for you not to do me like this. But what did you did it to yourself. Because
Right.
everything is like energy is everything, and the realities are always there. There are always all these multidimensional realities, whether if it's going to be, is it going to be a rainy day today, or is it going to be a sunny day today? Is it going to be night, or is it going to be morning?
Right.
Those kind of things are always there. It's where you focus, you will flow and you will find that, you know. So like right now it's not raining right now, but I bet you somewhere in the world it's going to be raining. So if I'm here calling that rain, calling that rain, calling that rain, I might end up going to a place that might be raining at one point in time, right? So it's that experience, because it's that me tapping into that experience now, because it's all kind of experiences are there.
Right.
So it's about which experience are you tapping into.
I went back to comment because Blue was saying when and she's just confirming what we're talking about. When we put thoughts out there in the universe, spoken or not, the universe hears it. Yes. The more we say what we don't want, the more the universe gives it to us. Yes. And then Blue says, we are the creator of our reality. All she's saying all start with self.
Yep.
And then Melissa, I want to make sure that I bring them into the conversation. So where our attention goes, that's right, energy flows. If our ego mindset is focusing on the things we don't want, the universe will focus and continue to give us those things. That's right. The universe does not know that we're taking our direction from our egoic mind. Love you, love you, love you. Blue says, we can switch things on the upside of life instead of looking from things from the downside of life. Understanding people and things are mirrors of our inner side. Yes, absolutely.
This has been a whole manifestation of it, because I think Blue just tapped in, or else she wouldn't have been said, but she's basically reaffirming everything that we just literally said 5 minutes ago.
Right.
And that's how you know, like, we are attracting the same people, the same consciousness, because the more we speak about these things, the people that are going to come through are the same people that are on the same level, you know, your soul family, right?
Right.
It's all here, and they're reaffirming it through their own experience, you know, and they're just saying that same thing. So we're all singing the same song, and depending on what song you're going to sing, you're going to be attracting your people that will vibe to the same thing. That's why, if you think about it, when you go to a concert, you attract the same, like it's gonna packed out, sold out concert, and we are all vibing to the same songs, because this is what we are. This is where our frequency is at, our love is at, kind of thing. If you go to a different concert, you won't find different people that like different things in the same space.
Right.
It will never be like that. You know, birds of a feather flock together in the day. So it's the same thing. Like, this is that's a song of the universe. Where you're at with your consciousness, you know. Where are you with your consciousness? If you're conscious in a certain level, you attract all the people that think like that and move like that and all that stuff. If your consciousness is on this level, it will be the same thing. But everything is okay, because everything, like, we all go through this experience. It's not a race, it's a marathon. And whatever you are in life right now, you're experiencing what you need to experience, so then you can learn from that experience. And then when you graduate from that experience, you might meet different people. And that's why we're not supposed to be attaching ourselves to the people around us, because the people are just here to guide us, you know, to the experience, to the teachings, you know. It's just a lesson, not rather than the person that you gotta hold on to. So it's a beautiful experience. Let's
see. Hence, practicing mindfulness in life is being called upon more today. 100%. Yeah, and it's just not. It's not just mindfulness. It's the triune of it all. It's body. It's soul consciousness, mind consciousness, and body consciousness. It was what Source gave to us at the beginning of everything. It just at the beginning of third density, when the mind consciousness became aware that it was conscious, it didn't know what to do with it, because our soul consciousness was still veiled in the denseness of this physical body. And as soon as soul consciousness became or started to become unveiled, as we started to live life, then body, mind, and soul started to want to work together. It's just that our egoic subroutine, which was created by the magnificence of our conscious mind, to protect us while it was figuring out that it wasn't a linear move that consciousness was about. It was a move of conscious spirals, and just like like you said, our DNA in that swirl, right? So, but two, yes, and two, we have to understand we have a free will. We can choose to go and ride the roller coaster of our egoic mind, knowing fully that it is fractured, knowing fully that it is not going to give us the best information because it only knows about or resist. And under fight, flight, or resist, under those bullet points, it has fear. Fear keeps you safe from everything. If you fear to venture out from your egoic mind's safe space, then you will always be feeding your ego. You'll be feeding your ego lower density energy. It's not good or bad. Source didn't say it's energy. We just found out that we could call it, when we vibe high, we're vibing high. We go, ooh, that feels good. I feel like I'm on cloud 9. And when we're vibing low, we can go, ooh, how low can you go? That kind of thing, right? But we're triune. We were taught as a group of human beings that, and this is not just the Catholic Church, but Baptist, Methodist, and all the churches, that the triune was God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost, depending on what church you go to. But the pièce de résistance of that all is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost, if you want to say, or Spirit moves in, through, and as us. We're the triune. We get to decide what we want and how much of what we want. Exactly. And then we decide whether it's good or bad based on our feelings and our emotions about those feelings. This is why Source, the divine creator, gave us a triune vessel.
I love that. And that's mainly what it's all about.
That's your free will choice.
Yes. And
right.
That power is deep, because I feel like it's all about the programming and like the free will of what you choose, right? What makes you excited? Because if you think about it from a point of view of a person that's inflicting self-harm on itself, but right. It joys, it thrives from that. Like, there's people that will cut themselves, and to them that's release. I like to hurt myself, and that feels good. It's like they've been programmed, or something within their mind is allowing them to feel like, okay, cool, this feels good, and vice versa for something like that. So we put the meaning behind every experience, whether if it's a good experience or not experience, something like that. To me, that will feel bad, because I don't like pain. But somebody might love pain and might think like, oh, this actually feels good, I like it, it's addictive. Like this is what it makes me feel alive, or whatever the case may be, right? So it's all about what is your belief system, what are you programmed to vibrate on, and everything like that. But when you come inside, you're able to see that. And I love how you mentioned at one point about the whole when you leave a certain kind of relationship, and it's about you coming into yourself, and then you can just rechange. Because when you're able to give yourself that love and understand that, ooh, I played a part myself in that connection, whether if it's me allowing it, whether if it's me calling it in, and everything like that. It's about, now that I change something within my mindset, and what I wanted to bring in now, because I can speak for only myself and I. And when I was in those kind of situations, I brought that upon myself. Whether it's because it was me people pleasing, me not respecting myself enough, me not loving myself enough, to thinking like, oh, this is not right, I should not go back to this kind of thing. And I kept on going back to it. It's that kind of thing. But now that I've had that awareness within myself, and not feeling guilty, because I grew up thinking like I want to be loved by everyone. So no matter how much the person might be hurting me or whatever, I'm gonna do my best to still
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can't. My phone did a glitch. I was trying to fix it, and then it just went all over the place.
I saw that. Yeah, but I can hear you now. So
carrying until I fixed it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
so
weird.
So
go ahead.
What I was saying was like about like me allowing that to happen to me, because I thought within my own mind, where somewhere or the other I thought that was okay, right? And then until I started realizing like, oh, maybe it's not okay, and it's maybe okay, cool. So then I came back to find out it's because I wanted to be loved by everybody. I wanted to please everybody. So that's when it came to the whole people pleasing. And then no matter if the person is hurting me or whatever it can be, or no matter if the situation is making me feel uncomfortable, I'd rather make the person feel comfortable. If I know that the person might feel uncomfortable with me acting, or me being myself, I will disown myself by being whatever they wanted me to be, so then they can like me, and they feel like I can feel validated one way or the other, right? So when I stopped thinking like that, and I'm seeing like how that was kind of like this, doing a disservice to myself, it was me having a whole self-sabotage and everything like that. I decided to like change the way of thinking, and not succumb to that experience anymore. Not feel like, oh, I need to please them, oh, I need to make them happy, or da 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 da. And it's like I matter. That was the key. That knowing that I matter, my feelings matter. You know,
Right.
and that's the whole program of like, as a man, you know, everybody else matters more than you, because you know you gotta take care of them and da 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 da. But no, it's like, no, I matter. I gotta take care of myself first, so then I can be a better vessel to serve the ones that will appreciate that as well, right? So with me having
Me
that
too.
kind of, that's literally what. And like I said, it's a human experience, not a, oh, as a man this is how it's supposed to be. No, but it's a human experience. Everybody goes through this experience.
I'm going to tell you, while I was experiencing it, I was thinking that this only happened to women, and men. Men were so lucky they didn't have to go through that. You know, they didn't have to do the people pleasing, or the, you know, oh, I have to work really hard to be accepted by the other person in my relationship. And I certainly, back then, I wouldn't have said, if somebody said back then, you're creating your life, I would have said, I wouldn't create this shit. I wouldn't create, you know, somebody making me feel bad, or not making me feel worthy, or me having to work hard to at least get somebody to say good job, you know. And I thought it was my duty as a good little Baptist girl to be the, you know, to live the, if I wanted to live the what do you call it,
The holy lifestyle, the holy lifestyle, we call it like that.
holy lifestyle, or the lifestyle that was uh, uh, described in marry your high school sweetheart, make sure that he has some type of religious boundaries, and have 2.3 kids, and have the fence, and this will show that you're a good girl, not a woman, but a girl, right? And if you marry that man who's got some religious things going on, he's going to take the family and he's going to move it in the way it should go. You'll always be taken care of for life. And that was the thought pattern that I had for a long time, even after my first marriage, my only marriage work. But I took it in as a young woman into other relationships where I had to please them in order to see myself being happy, right?
And that's literally what it is. So when we stop doing that, we're able to attract what we actually truly deep down deserve, you know. And if we were in a situation or a connection that was quite challenging, us changing ourselves, we're able to, and it's because we were challenging ourselves. We were placing ourselves in a position where, like, oh, I it's okay to find this thing challenging when life is effortless, right? So when you stop going against the grain, and what the universe is showing you, and you go with what the universe is showing you, you flow with what it's showing you, you're being flexible, because that's really what it is. It's when we are just stuck in one way, we're stopping ourselves from experiencing a different way, you know. And we know what we know on an egotistical level, but on a soulful level, we don't know what we don't know, right? And faith in the ego doesn't know what it doesn't know. But on a soulful level, in the universe, it will always show you, and it will always teach you. When I always say I will forever be a student of life, because no matter how conscious I become, no matter what kind of level I will be on, of level of consciousness, there will always be something beyond that.
Yes.
Because it's eternity. Like energy, it can never die. It can only be transferred. So when I transfer myself from a different level to a different level, I will have a new experience that I need to learn from, in general. So
Expansion of it.
Expansion, you know, my horizon is always goes beyond. So that's what happened. And then when I allowed myself to comprehend and let that sink in, I was able to stop experiencing what I was experiencing. I didn't really appreciate anymore. And I started experiencing effortless. I mean, things that were so beyond me that I thought like, oh, is this actually real? Okay, for a certain extent, and I love how like I think Blue said, oh, you know, the 5 people that you spend the most time with, or someone ourselves with on a day-to-day basis, influence us the most, and it's the vice versa kind of thing, you know. And I was thinking that way, thinking that this is my only reality because I was so stuck in hanging out with this person or with these people that's what it was. But when I detached myself from it, spend time with myself, and like I said, not reminding me of who I was and where I was at, but more like where I'm meant to be, what I wanted to attract, you know, like that. I started becoming that, and I started attracting the same thing that I actually wanted, that I've been waiting for. But at one point in time, I thought that was not possible, right? So now I'm here speaking on stages and everything like that, and I'm being appreciated as a speaker, and being appreciated and being shown love, and I'm being recognized for who I truly am. And that is expanding my own awareness, expanding my own powers, amplifying the power that I am in. And I'm attracting the right connections that are just making me feel more loved, rather than, oh, I gotta fight for love. I gotta keep on people pleasing to be appreciated. No, I can just be me, and people will respect me. I can just be me, and people will reflect me. You know, the same love that I gave out, I'm getting it right back now. You know, and it's all because of I changed my mindset.
Just move my shoulders and go, oh yes, 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 right?
No.
Yes, be my authentic self and just more me in, right? And kind of,
it feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels like what you're not told. If you think about yourself, you're being too selfish. But I need to be self-filled, right?
To fulfill my journey, I gotta be full of myself. If I'm full of everybody else's opinion and awareness and beliefs, how can I be me? How can I be authentically me? And when I stopped, you know, doing that, and I didn't care anymore if I'm people pleasing or not, because I realized that, okay, cool. If Jesus was so holy, but still had still had haters, like why am I still trying to, why am I trying to outdo Jesus now and be like, no, it has to be this way. No, it doesn't. Just be you and keep on claiming you.
I stay and I shade to that, because Jesus had so many haters. They crucified him for the words that he said. I want to acknowledge that Blue was saying so many obligatory words we're being hardwired into our life. Of course, it will take some time for us to let go of those hard wirings. Yes, it could take a whole lifetime. It could take whatever the lifetime of your body is, whatever your lifetime of your body is. I'm going to say that because people laugh at me, because they say, oh, I'll be glad if I live till I'm 80. Oh, I'll be glad if I live till I'm the right old age of 92. And I go, I'm going to take it a little bit further. I want to see 140. Why not? You know, or maybe can I stay long till source decides that the source is the dreamer having the dream, that source decides the dream that we get to keep these bodies eternally. Right?
And that's what it is. For me, it's like they're saying it's being hardwired and it'll take a lifetime. Well, it will take time is just, it's not linear, it's man-made. So we are able to have quantum leaps whenever it may be. It's all about our consciousness. It's how willing are we to surrender to and let go of all these hard wirings, to be able to, you know, unlearn to relearn, right? Yeah. So it's all about that. And when you're able to know, like, you know what makes you believe that oh no, now that I hit a certain age, I gotta stop learning, or I can't learn anymore, or I can't learn as easy. That's still a programming. That's still a reality that's been taught to you. But it doesn't mean because the other reality hasn't been shown to you yet, it doesn't mean it's not there.
Okay.
Right? So all these things are possible. Everything is simple. Everything is possible.
I got something for you. All right. You might say this is TMI. I'm gonna before I say it, I'm gonna Melissa says we are all constantly evolving, growing, and expanding. Yes, we have the stardust of the universe in us. If the universe is expanding, growing, why do you think we would not? Right? All I got to do is say, Ashe, Melissa, Ashe, Blue. Blue says the first step is noticing and recognizing say that word for me. Obligatory words slip up and reword something that's in more alignment. Yes, you're absolutely right. We need to change the spells that we speak over ourselves. People think that spells come from witches and warlocks, and they do not. We've been on this planet for tens of thousands of years, and we learn to speak and we learn to write in whatever language you are, and we learned how to use those words that we learned to spell in words, and then we were taught how to speak them over ourselves, and we were not told that we were speaking spells over ourselves. We were not told that the universe was totally tuned in and jacked in to us, because the universe is not out there, it's in here. So you are absolutely right, Blue. Now for my other story, my thing is not
too much information,
right? Okay, so this is a little TMI, but most women will understand it, and most women that are at least maybe 50 to 55 and older will understand this. 55 and older, most women do not have to do a pap smear anymore. The reason why, or at least I was told, is because usually what they're looking for is they're looking for a virus that happens in the woman's body between the time that they start their period as a young girl through that, and then all through that. At about 55, they don't have to do that anymore. I was having a conversation with my doctor, and my doctor was saying they don't usually do it because 55 and over, and I don't know if she was making a joke, but I kind of laughed at it inside, was because most of the time women 55 and older aren't having sex. And I kind of, inside I went, right? Really? She just said that, right? Okay, because the last time that she had asked me that question, I had put a no to it because I'm not in a relationship right now, right? Okay. So, so she brought that back around to me, and I said, oh no, that was just then. And because here it brought me to this thought, is because we're downloaded with this information for whether it's older women over the age of 50 or 55, and men too, that this is when it all stops. It's another, see, we've been given all this information, so that's why the learning never stops.
Yep.
Right? And you're given this, and a lot of people are, the older community are sitting on their chairs and their couches, and they're getting old because they've got that thought pattern there. Right? And I mean, now you see in the commercials that they have where they're trying to sell their medicines or pharmaceuticals. Now they've got that these pharmaceuticals are going to make you feel young, and they're showing where the older community is having fun. They're going out and having parties. They're going and driving their convertibles with the top down, and that's not right. But you don't have to be that way because you're taking some medicine. You were born that way. Indeed. You were born with the gift of fun in you. You were born with that inner child. It hasn't left you. It's in your rear view mirror in the background, because your ego is saying, I've got all this this information about what and who you should be like at the age of, I don't know, when I heard somebody say that they considered people old at the age of 55. So I have a friend who just made 50, and she's not old yet. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely the programming. It's how we think. Oh, like, are you whatever age old, or you're whatever age young? You
yeah,
know, it's how you
yeah.
program your mind.
Blue was saying, just because you're a woman of a certain age doesn't mean you stop being intimate with your life partner, or that our bodies stop cycling. It, yeah, it's a way. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, you know, I went through menopause and it's not cycling that way, but inside it's just shifted, right? And our body our bodies. I went through a long meditation, and finally Source just kind of just gave it to me and said, okay, here it is. These bodies that we have were meant to be eternal. We changed the story.
Yeah.
We just changed the story.
For some reason, I cannot see the comments anymore. Because I accidentally drifted the camera, so now I can't see it. But it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
Back to the whole manifesting.
Right.
Oh,
I love
you're
it.
glitching now. I don't know.
Can you see it now?
Yeah. No, I can't. I think because when I was scrolling up, I accidentally drifted off. So I was about to even go off the live, but I kept my finger there, so now it stopped there. So that's what it does. So it's all good. But yeah, it's definitely been a beautiful conversation. I felt like a lot of people got a lot from it, and I definitely wanted to bring it back to manifesting when it comes to, we are what we speak, what we believe. Everything is basically manifesting happens in sequence, and it's all through our mental construct, what we started thinking about, what we started feeling, what we started vibrating, and the actions that we took behind that all experience. So once you're able to be more aware of that, we're able to be impeccable with our word. So then it's like, okay, cool. If I started thinking a thought, am I giving it more energy by speaking about it if that's not what I want? Or is it more about me just being impeccable, like, you know what? Let me be mindful. I don't want to keep on re-attracting this thing. So I'm going to detach myself from that story. I have no story anymore. Like, if anything, when I'm coming into a new connection, I'm a fresh being. I'm a fresh being, and I'm just looking to, if anything, speak more about what I want to experience in this connection, rather than, oh, this is what I've been through. And then I'm just reiterating, bringing it back again. So that's the mistake that people do sometimes when it comes to relationships. It's like they're more passionate about and speaking more into details what I've been through and whatever it can be, what I expect from you, instead of just be like, no, this is what I'm looking to co-create with you. This is where I'm willing to be with you and everything like that. And don't worry about my past kind of thing. As I think it's more about like where we are right now. Because to be told, my past got me here, and I'm just speaking to you from this awareness, and let's be in this moment and see where this moment will take us, kind of experience. So from that point of view, we're able to move more effortlessly.
Dan says it. Dan says, yes, we man. When you and I get together, creativity just flows, right? Dan says, yeah, we really are eternal wellness loop love within. And then he says, rebirthing a new each day. I love that. We are, as we see the day being new, we are the new moment. We are the moment. We are not that we're just our now, we're in a now moment. We are the now moment. Okay, right? It's kind of like, okay, you get to create something new about you. What are you going to create?
Are you gonna recreate whatever you're doing again, what you've been doing, or are you gonna create something new? And that's mainly out of the old motion between reaction and response, right? You reacting, you're reenacting what you've been through, what you know that you're supposed to be doing. Oh, I know what I know, so this is how I react to things, right? Responding is like, I know what I know, but I'm aware enough and control enough to be like, you know what? Then what I want to be now for the next future, the next experience to show up as,
Yeah.
So when you come from that kind of point of view and that energy, you're able to be more in control, manifest life better, and have better experiences in life. And that's what I've been doing with myself. Since having this kind of awareness, I was able to attract the right people that now I'm manifesting things easily. When before, for me to even create a course, create a webinar, that it would take me so long. I would have like, oh my God, how's it? My mind couldn't grasp it because I was holding on to what I know. And what Gio knew was more like, oh, before I was just the artist, the entertainer, and everything like that. So I wasn't thinking like Geoffrey the coach, Geoffrey the transformation coach, Geoffrey the mentor, Geoffrey the speaker. I wasn't thinking like that. But when I detached from the artist and or painting, not even detached from it, but just like say like, okay, this is not just all of me, but I have more of me. Let me bring in, what am I calling in right now? Because the universe is calling me, and the universe will always call you to bring something new about yourself to discover yourself, because it's self-discovery which will lead to self-mastery. And then at one point in time, you're able to bring all these versions of you that you discovered, bring it together because you mastered them and flow with whatever the case may be, right? So from there, I was able to manifest me speaking on stages in Dubai, on live at that point, straight from my room, and I'm here speaking to a whole community of over 600 people, impacting them to the point like then I was able to attract the right people in my life to co-create a whole webinar together on the mindset, and it all happened in a matter of days. So to me, it's like, how can something that was so far-fetched in months, and I was here struggling, going against the grain, now it's happening so effortlessly. It's called, I changed my mind, and I started attracting the right people that will co-create with me and move effortlessly. So to me, it's like something that could have been taking months. It happened in 3 days, 6 days, and now I'm able to advertise that for everybody else as well. So that's the power when you live in the moment, when you live in the now, and you're able to be in control of that experience, you know. And it's beautiful when you allow it, when you're able to co-create with the universe rather than just go against the universe to like, oh, I want it because of my ego. No, your ego knows what it knows. Your soul knows what it flies and thrives through, you know.
Right, so. Right. Oh, I'm just a spiritual goosebumps. I want to catch some other people before we get off. Melissa said, I'm excited and blessed about becoming a grandmother, and many continue to comment about how old I must be and feel. I am only 45 in earth years. I say I am not old. I'm honored and grateful. Yes, yes, yes. Blue says, we decide to break the toxic cycles of life, create a more aligned way of life with source and others. I want everybody to remember that even when we're creating a more aligned life with source, as source is moving in, through, and as us, when we are making what we call mistakes point us to a new path. And it's okay to make a mistake and feel it and let it go, or surrender it and let it alchemize itself, let it change, find out what you want to do. Just like Gio said, what do I want to do now? Who do I want to be now? And if I don't see it, how does the universe know how to open it up to me? Right?
Okay.
And let's see. In the Bible, it says Nigel, you didn't finish that. So let me know what you were saying. I'm sorry, it's moving kind of slow. Okay. I got it. Nigel says, in the Bible, a man's days are numbered 70. Maybe this could have had a influence on how people think of age. Yes, and the thing is, when I looked at the Bible, 70, the way they explained it to me in growing up, that the people in the Bible lived a lot longer than back then, because they were more, the ones that lived long, they were close to God. They were the chosen. you know, and everybody else, I think 70 was, I don't know, I think 30. I'm not sure. Because tell you, I haven't done Bible study in a long time, but you're absolutely right. It's based off of, we're talking old, that old thought process, right? So let's see. I'm sorry, Gio. Yours doesn't come through, and mine is moving so slow. Melissa says so much easier once we step into divine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
For me.
The reason why I'm gonna have to switch sides because my phone. I didn't notice my phone. Man, Gio, we use up a lot of energy.
We do,
don't we?
We do. That's why I have to make sure my phone was uncharged.
Just
That's what
one
happens
second.
when you bring in that higher power in. You just transmit a lot of energy in.
Okay, so now you guys are going to see my new kitchen area. I'm working on it.
It looks nice.
Yeah. So she says, makes life is so much easier once you step in divine and the divine flows instead of swimming against the current. Absolutely. When you turn around, I remember Abraham Hicks once saying that if you decide to swim upstream, you're going to struggle. Turn around and go with the flow. And I love that.
It's beautiful, man. I had to experience it, and I understood that I was stuck in my ways. The universe kept on pushing me away or making me detached from whether it was the person, whether it was the job and stuff like that. But I was kept on holding on because I wanted to prove a point. My ego wanted to prove a point. When I decided to surrender and be like, you know what, I accept whatever I need to accept. That's when things were moved out of my way for the beautiful thing to come in. I was like, oh, okay, this is what I was stopping from coming because I was so stuck in this way, in this what I know, instead of following just the bliss. And I'm just like enjoying it, and I'm just like, yes, more of that. So it's beautiful. The universe is always, that's why you gotta just comprehend, like, the universe is always rooting for you. The universe is always there for you. So when you're thinking like, no, you're stopping your own self from experiencing the unknown, which might be even more powerful, more beautiful, more blissful than what you're experiencing right now. So
yeah. Oh, so much truth. Dan says that when he's going back to the 3-score-and-3, he's saying that it could also be 333. It could be. Like I said, Dan, it's been a long time since I did Bible study. I don't even have any of those notes anymore. But all I know is we can, for me, I don't put a old or a young. I do say that I've right now I am 66 solar returns. I'm not afraid. I am no longer afraid to say that, because it is what it is. And I'm very blessed to have got.
It's beautiful that you're able to carry that 66 number in such a beautiful way, like, to me, that's a powerful thing to be able to say I'm 66 and look what I'm doing, because you're doing amazing things at this age. And there's people that would think, oh, I'm only 55 and I feel like I'm done experiencing, I'm done doing things that are new to me. I'm just gonna keep on doing whatever I'm used to. There's people that limit themselves like that, but I see you're not doing so it's beautiful to witness that.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, I got a lot more to see and do. I got a lot more that source is moving through me. I'm opening up gifts and talents and taking the creativity and and my work ethic from working in corporations for so long and just expanding it, this kind of thing, also just being open up to wanting to help men and women, get the help that they need for not just being abused, but, being what they consider lost in the system, the system of living. Nobody's teaching them how to live, So I want to thank you for joining me. And of course, we're going to have to do another one because, we're still on the tip of the iceberg. right?
It can only get deeper than it can only get deeper and
Yeah.
deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty about it, for sure. But definitely I appreciate you for having me as well. I want to like just kind of reiterate as well. If you guys enjoyed this whole conversation and whatever knowledge has been coming out and everything like that, like I said, I mentioned before, I have co-created this webinar that's happening, and it's gonna finish on the 2nd of July, so basically in 2 days kind of thing. It's about literally on a soulful transformation to help you transform yourself through different experiences when it comes to the subconscious mind, being able to work with your affirmations, being able to work with the angels that you have around you, because we don't think about spirit and everything like that. That's helping us co-create this experience as well, right? And how to surrender to the universe as well, and be able to manifest consciously. I've collabed with 3 beautiful goddesses as well that mastered these skills, so that's why they were able to speak about it on every level. So it's going to be a powerful thing, especially it's happening on before the full moon. So if you're really wanting to change your life, right, and be able to be in control of your life now and take ownership for whatever you can be accountable for it, I will definitely advise you for you to type in the link is in my bio, and you will definitely be able to change your life for the better. I was able to do so. Everything that I grew from was something that where you were at one point in time. Like I never used to be thinking like this at one point in time. I was so stuck in my ego or moving a little bit on a different consciousness, and it's okay because we have to grow from this experiences. You don't have to be great to start, but you gotta start to become great. So you gotta start from anywhere and then get to know like, okay, cool, how do I get better and better and better? And for me to invest in my own mentor and everything like that, I was able to come back to this great consciousness that now I'm able to convey it to other people as well and teach it, and remind people of who they are, because we all know about these teachings. It's really embedded within us, and the more we allow, and me investing in my mentor made my experience even faster, because I was following a way where somebody achieved already what I was looking to achieve. So one way or the other, I will definitely would recommend for you guys to tap in. You feel me? So thank you.
Also, don't you have a safe space group for men?
Exactly, as well. So with that being said, for any men out here as well that are willing to be able to come to a group where like you're able to convey and open up, be vulnerable, speak on your truth, and have somebody to relate to you and be able to assist you on a like male to male, because like I said, there's not a lot of safe spaces out here. So if you're willing to tap into that, definitely send me a DM. I will definitely love to have you in as well and expand and grow from these experiences, because we're never a victim to our experiences. They're just there to teach us how we can become better conscious people, right? So you're welcome for that as well.
Welcome.
So thank you
so much. Thank you for being the young God. Neo tushana takaia na ha. Cheshena handa kishishono toku utai itai impakta imaha. Yes, sambahande shishana takunai neo tushe. Thank you for gracing us with your beautiful presence. Thank you. I read Monday through Friday if anybody is interested. I am reading right now the Spiritual Liberation. I have the book right here. And I will I will start Monday through Friday once again. I will bring it forward and keep it going, because sources said I have had a vacation from it and now it will be forthcoming. And it is read. I love it. The parent is reading through the student, sources through me, and giving you little tidbits of what you need. Everything is not one size fits all. So you take from the room what fits you and leave what doesn't. So that's Monday through Friday most of the time. All right. And it's usually between 9 and 9:30 Pacific Coast time. I also am doing a soul conversation, star meditations with Sandra.
Okay.
Source gave it to me because hump day is a problem for a lot of people. They need to surrender. They need to transmute and alchemize. They need to be sources having me hold space for you and moving through me with light language. So, man, I'm feeling somebody right now. Source is saying it's okay. I got you. I got you. I got you. Very much. Melissa says, thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Geo. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Soul. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much. Love you all. Looking forward to your next installment together. All right. So check Geoffrey out. Check his page out. If you're not following him, follow him. Click the arrow up there. Give him a follow. If you need to be part of his safe space, please go there. There is no separation. There is only the human experience experiencing pain. Geo has been put on this earthly plane for great things. His soul is experiencing the greatest thing of all, his human incarnation. Blessings and wholeness. Thank you, Gio.
Thank you for having me, Sandra. I definitely want to say, like I always say, it's such a graceful experience to be in your presence, to vibe with you and experience each other through our consciousness and keep on channeling. It's a beautiful thing because we love to surrender. We love to allow. We love to serve. And this is what we're here to do. We're here to just serve, and it's bigger than us, you know. We're here to change lives and impact lives for the better. And when people are able to allow themselves to be impacted, so then they can have an impact themselves, right? That's when the beauty counts, because it's that domino effect, and we're here to share the love and share the light. So whatever you experience in this live in this podcast, make sure you share with everybody else as well. Because every time you teach somebody, you're relearning, you're reaffirming the lesson that you already experienced, and you're making the world a better place. We're all here playing our part. It's not just about us making the change. We are all the change, you know.
Yes.
You're just a version. The light that you see in me is the light that you have within yourself. I'm just a different version of you. And the only thing that got me out here in this moment in time to be able to articulate like this, move like this, express like this, and vibe like this is because I took inspired actions, and I always allowed myself to be, no matter what. I didn't let the mind take control. You know, when something was pulling me, I didn't let the mind come in or the ego come into like, oh, but what if? No, I just allowed it. Every time I surrendered. And when you're able to move like that, you're not bound to anything, and you're bound to just literally experience life to the fullest. And this is what we're here to do: enjoy life, to enjoy this beautiful human experience. So definitely tap into Sandra's lives as well, even more, because I know for myself, whenever I tapped into that, my soul was always expanding more and more and more and more. And for you to be successful in life in a way or the other, is consistency is key. And consistency is made out of what? Repetition, repetition, repetition. So no matter what kind of information you're receiving, and if you keep on receiving it, it's because it's meant to be for you to be fully embody it. We've been programmed from this whatever program of the society wanted to be us for years and years and years through TV, social, whatever it can be. Wherever we walk, we see the program right then and there, and that's why I'm able to be in the moment, stay aware, and see things from a third eye point of view, and I'm able to move with discernment. Right? It's not just about hearing whatever they're saying and following through anymore. It's more about like, does it resonate with my soul?
Yep.
Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. And then every single time I listen to my heart and something that got me excited, I acted upon it, and blessings always happened. But when I felt excited and I stopped myself from it, and I always kept back on listening to the usual self-talk, the usual program I was running in, I end up finding life more challenging. So please liberate yourself, free yourself by allowing yourself, your spirit to flow and be inspired. Because when you're inspired, you're in spirit and you're vibing higher. Like when you're in the ego mindset, you're just vibing on the same set, on the same regulations, and
Right.
you're stopping yourself from that. So thank you so much, Sandra, for having me. It's been a beautiful
And of course we'll have to get in touch with each other, because it's like, I don't know, this is 3. I think this is session 3, so we're due for
three.
Yeah.
Three is the magic number, but we keep on. You know what? It's like I said, we are limitless beings, so I feel like it's a like I said, it's a pleasure for me to come through and share my love and light with you as well. So
yeah.
I appreciate it.
I'm thankful that you put out there, like I do myself, and our lives, not so that people can judge it, but so that people can learn from it as we learned from it. So I thank you. There's somebody else did something. Oh, Blue said, have a happy and safe 4th of July. So everybody have a safe 3-day weekend or 4-day weekend, wherever you are, even if you're in another country, but celebrating with us in spirit. Melissa says, awareness of self and who I am in the moment, with every moment. Yes. And on this, I'm going to really end it, because we could keep talking. I'm going to end it. What I learned in the past week, not weekend, but the past week, is that we are not just the moment. We are the moment. We are the moment. The moment is moving in, through, and as us. When we wake up in the morning, we are the moment. When we go to sleep at night, we are the moment. So be the moment you want to be. Stand on the leading edge and create. Have a thought. You get to discern the thought. Ask your conscious mind. You got it, baby. That conscious mind is not linear. It is all over the place, and it is tuned in and tapped in to every possibility that is within you. There's nothing outside that you need to get that isn't already within you. Tap into it. Be your creative you. Be your authentic you. Bring you to the menu of life. Life is waiting for you to create it for you. Life is waiting for you. It's not happening to you. It's happening because of you. I know that you have heard that before, but it is what it is until you make it change.
Mm-hmm.
Stand on the leading edge of creation and be the triune creator that you were born as.
Exactly. Be the vessel, The reason why me and Sandra are here able to speak on our experiences, not from the victim mindset, but from a conscious mindset, a conqueror of understanding, and the student as well, is assisting us to assist you. So imagine when you're able to view the world from that standpoint as well, you're able to assist the world as well. and we're not there expecting the people to change. We are the change, and then people will follow through, and that's it. That's mainly what it's all about. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and yes. Ah, I love it. All right, I'm going to say thank you very much. I'm going to close the space. I close the space. Anybody who is into numerology, close the space with 10845. My energy goes out into the cosmos in, around, for, and because of you. I do not call my energy back. My energy goes back with wisdom and goes out with wisdom and understanding, with divine love, unconditional love. Use it, stand with it, and create from it if you need a little assistance. That is what I am here for. I am here to stand on the leading edge of the universe and hold space for you. So take your energy, take it back from this room, utilize it to be the divine creator that you are. Anyone that's leaving energy in this room, I will not hold it, but I will give it right now to Source. I will surrender it to Source so Source can alchemize it, change it, transmute it, and then send it back out. Either you can hold it, claim it, or you can allow it to just be part of the universe. That's your choice, but I will not hold yours. Thank you for being part of Soul Conversations with Sandra. Thank you for inviting Geo into this safe space. Thank you, Geo. Love, peace, wisdom, and understanding. Ashe.
Peace and love, family. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Thank you, man.